Didn't happen. He may body slam him here. No, he runs him into the turnbuckle.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 times real fights broke out in wrestling.
Coco Ware just totally demolished him.
For this list, we're going to be ranking the instances where real-life, off-script moments of violence erupted in pro wrestling. This could be between wrestlers or between wrestlers and fans, so long as the in-ring action felt a little too real. Know any we missed? Let us know in those comments below. Number 10, Gilberto Meléndez vs. New Jack. It was an incident that went on to become one of the most infamous instances of real violence within the wrestling world. Gilberto Meléndez wrestled for years with a gimmick that hinged upon being basically impervious to pain.
So the night of the show, Joe comes up. He said, "Just listen to me, kid. I can teach you a lot." I said, "You talking to me?"
That is, until he went up against the no-nonsense original gangster known as New Jack. The old-school hardcore legend was keen on no-selling New Jack's offense, while Melendez's hardcore style included headbutting his opponent a little too hard for the latter's liking.
And Gypsy Joe, as per his gimmick, wasn't selling New Jack's stuff.
The result was a queasy assault upon Meléndez by New Jack with a veritable arsenal of weapons. It's honestly hard to watch, and led to New Jack being arrested for assault after the match.
Wish the match never should have happened in the first place.
Number 9, Sexy Star vs. Rosemary. The term shoot is often used to describe an unplanned incident that goes off from that evening's plan or script, and occasionally that shoot can involve some real-life violence. In the case of our next entry, it involved a very real armbar applied by luchadora Sexy Star against fellow wrestler Rosemary, while both were competing for the AAA promotion in 2017.
Sexy Star nailed her. Locks in that submission.
The maneuver resulted in Rosemary suffering a reported dislocation before submitting, while Sexy Star suffered an immediate backlash for her actions.
You're the winner.
Wait, she's refusing to let go.
The latter was stripped of her championship and took a hiatus from the business, transitioning to both boxing and MMA after the incident.
That was a hard-fought battle.
Number 8, Riki Dozan vs. Masahiko Kimura. The world of professional wrestling has seen its fair share of legitimate tough guys, but few from the old school were as fearsome as Riki Dozan and Masahiko Kimura. Both came from real-life fighting backgrounds, sumo and judo, and competed often throughout their careers. One particular night turned into a shoot, however, during a match for the Japan Pro Wrestling Alliance Championship. Riki Dozan's karate chop finisher was the plan, but the former decided to attack Kimura for real, striking and rendering him unconscious. Riki Dozan would go on to kick Kimura while he was down and reneged on his promise for a rematch. This added fuel to speculatory theories that Kimura was somehow responsible for Riki Dozan's real-life murder in 1963, although this has never been proven. Number 7, Perry Saturn vs. Mike Bell. Squash matches don't occur nearly as often as they used to, but there was a time when this was a preferred way to get over fresh talent by having them annihilate paid performers, colloquially known as jobbers. One such intentional loser was Mike Bell, who was booked to fall to Perry Saturn, then fresh to the company after leaving WCW. An early botch led to Saturn taking a fall on his head, and although everything seemed to be a-okay, Perry was not a happy camper. He decided to go into business for himself, punishing Bell by shooting on him and tossing him out the ring. Saturn was punished for his action, with WWE Creative saddling him with a gimmick where the wrestler fell hopelessly in love with a mop. Number 6, Stan Hansen and Vader. Pro wrestling, like any sport, can be prone to injuries. For many in the business, however, the show must absolutely go on, no matter the cost. Vader and Stan Hansen were two such diehards, devotees of the old school who were legitimately tough. The pair were performing in New Japan Pro Wrestling back in 1990, and the match went south before the bell even rang. Hansen accidentally broke Vader's nose during his entrance thanks to an errant swing of a bull rope prop, and it was officially on. The pair brawled for real until Hansen struck again, this time with an accidental thumb to Vader's eye. This resulted in the eye actually coming out of the socket, only for Vader to plug it up and continue the fight. Unreal. Number 5, Koko Ware versus the Patriots. Wrestling fans of a certain age will likely remember Koko B. Ware as a lovable babyface, whose matches alongside his mascot Frankie brought smiles to fans around the world.
222 pounds, Koko Ware.
No one was smiling during this exchange, however. Koko Ware, minus the B, was squaring off in a match against the Patriots. Ware was clearly working a squash here, yet the Patriots surprisingly gets Koko in the corner with some offense. Maybe this was planned, or maybe it wasn't, but what's certain is that Koko becomes enraged and attacks the Patriot without mercy.
And Koko kind of going at it. Woo!
Real punches, real kicks, a tremendous lariat, and more become the order of the day. And Koko even slaps the Patriot after the fact, for good measure.
And that's going to be it. 1, 2, 3.
Number 4, Dr. Death Steve Williams versus Wild Thing Steve Ray. Sometimes wrestling fans get to see why things go wrong in the ring, while other times it's all about some heated backstage drama. Money was the root of evil here, with this match between Dr. Death Steve Williams and Wild Thing Steve Ray, reportedly because the latter owed money to Herb Abrams from the UWF. Abrams decided to call a doctor, Williams answered the phone, and took Ray to task in a work shoot that's still debated today.
And he caught him with he caught Steve Williams with that
Hey, he's
close
going
line
to
and
the
sent
top
him
rope.
out.
He's going to the top rope here, Bruno. From the red rope, he jumps down and knocks him down.
Some sources claim this was staged to build heat for a still-fledging promotion, while others maintain that Dr. Death's brutal manhandling of Ray was on the orders of Abrams.
Is waiting on him.
Splash, tried to splash him, but Williams catches him in the air and just throws him down.
Whichever side you believe, it makes for compelling television.
Well, he is. He shook his hand and he says, okay.
Number 3, Akira Maeda versus André the Giant. It's difficult to imagine anyone trying to make André the Giant do anything the 8th wonder of the world didn't want to do. But Akira Maeda wasn't your average pro wrestler. A fiercely independent and fiery individual, Maeda was in the middle of major disagreements with Japanese wrestling icon Antonio Inoki when the former was booked to lose against André the Giant while competing in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Maeda gave André all the usual offense, but the Giant was having none of it, so Akira decided to deliver some real kicks in an attempt to make André fall. The standoff was so awkward that Inoki was forced to enter the ring and cancel the match. Number 2, Daniel Puder versus Kurt Angle. There's no denying Kurt Angle's pedigree as an Olympic champion and certified pro wrestling legend. Daniel Puder was no slouch, however, a proven MMA competitor and trained wrestler with plenty of skill to his credit. These two resumes came to a head during an infamous segment where Angle was challenging contestants in WWE's Tough Enough competition to shoot wrestling matches on live television. Puder got the better of Angle, and it came down to some quick thinking and fuzzy counting on the part of WWE officials to get Kurt out alive. This deed didn't go unpunished, as the company brought out enforcers Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, and Hardcore Holly to chop Puder into submission during that year's Royal Rumble. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Great Antonio versus Antonio Inoki. The Great Antonio was a strongman, an absolute bear with immense physical presence. However, even the toughest of men realized one very important piece of advice for self-preservation. Do not mess with Antonio Inoki. The man who once fought Muhammad Ali was one of the toughest of all time. So when the Great Antonio thought it would be wise to no-sell Inoki's offense, well, he paid the price. Inoki attacked Antonio without mercy, beating him within an inch of his life with strikes and kicks that are so real, the impact still causes us to wince today. Ouch.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.